Lightning peeked around the corner. Before her yawned a bottomless pit, the darkness so profound it swallowed both ceiling and floor. Only the gurgling of unseen water echoed from somewhere above. "Do you think Miss Fran fell through here?" she asked. Edith grimaced. "Seems likely at this point." Sylvie led the way in the right direction, but bad luck followed Fran. She opened the passage to the large cavern, but missed the precipice at the edge. "Now she's at the bottom." Edith shrugged helplessly. Sylvie and Margie were searching on the other side at the time, perfectly positioned to see what Fran was doing. According to Sylvie, Fran's magical signature just vanished. "I don't know the intricacies of your magic, but Miss Sylvie's eye of magic can supposedly see vast distances, right?" Yet, when they reached the opening, they couldn't see a thing at the bottom. Edith's hands fluttered in the air. Neither the bottom nor the rumored devouring worm. Two grim possibilities present themselves. 1. The hole plunges far deeper than the eye of magic's reach. 2. Something's actively blocking her vision. Both scenarios bode poorly. They're debating whether to dive into the abyss to rescue Fran immediately. Lightning remained quiet, the weight of Edith's words settling heavily. A fall from such an immense depth, as Edith described, painted a grim picture. If Fran's magic played a role, things were even more complex. Was there a colossal stone of retaliation down there, a failsafe with no malice? Or perhaps a trap laid by unseen enemies? Unease gnawed at her. The swift sickle monsters and the worm carrier that devoured the demon's pagoda still roamed the great snow mountain. Without Nightingale and Sylvie's intel, or the First Army's protection, even the gods' punishment witches wouldn't guarantee Fran's safe return. Taking a deep breath, Lightning squared her shoulders. Exploration was inherently risky, but a good explorer never abandoned a companion. Stepping towards the arguing witches, she declared, "I'll scout. We need eyes down there before deciding the next move." A blonde figure turned, revealing Elena, an ancient Taquilin which disguised in a man's form. "Your ability is?" Lightning tapped her goggles. "Flight. In this situation, I'm the better scout." Agatha, the ice witch, scowled. "This isn't about convenience. How will you return without your powers at the bottom? The king's orders are clear, everyone works together, witches and the First Army." "Then tie a rope to me," Lightning countered, outlining her plan. "Even if there's an anti-magic zone from a stone of retaliation, pulling me back up shouldn't be an issue." Lightning stewed. Saving Fran wasn't about recklessness. Her father's tales of perilous situations echoed in her mind. Most disasters, she believed, could be overcome with proper planning. After all, she was the best explorer, even without magic. Nightingale chimed in, "I can help. The misty world ignores gravity, allowing me to traverse the edge. I'll be there for Lightning if danger arises." Wendy countered, shaking her head. "That's as risky as going alone. Traps could leave you both stranded. Don't underestimate the world's formidable enemies, like senior demons." Elena's voice hardened. "We won't abandon Fran. If no one volunteers, I will." Agatha, the ice witch, cut in with a frosty tone, disobeying orders after 400 years? "In the name of the tequila witches, I forbid it." Silence descended on the gods' punishment witches. Elena bit her lip and offered a subdued apology. "No need to argue," Edith interjected. "The king's orders are clear, cooperation. We just need to send the First Army down." Brian, the First Army leader, looked surprised. "But the path?" "Unclear," Edith admitted, "but look." She pointed to the blocked passage. Reflective particles shimmer in the water, suggesting a crane used for deliveries. "If soldiers can transport food that way, they can transport us." Brian nodded. "The gondola. It carries a lot, but needs a steam engine." Edith outlined her plan, emphasizing each point. "Move the machine here, send witches and 2 machine gun squads down. The gondola's adjustable rope allows the witches to handle heavy machinery. The water provides a constant power source and escape route is ordered. The First Army can handle dismantling it, right?" Brian hesitated. Dismantling is easy, but reassembling. Edith raised an eyebrow. A boat and engine worth 500 to 600 gold royals. What choice would the king make? Lightning couldn't help but twitch her lips. That was far from a small sum. A massive iron basket dangled from the rope, big enough for 6 soldiers, 2 heavy machine guns, and the witches. Even if the witches lost their magic, the powerful HMGs provided ample protection. Agatha, Elena, and 6 soldiers crammed in first, followed by Lightning and Nightingale. After a final check of the winch, they began their descent. Torchlight from above dwindled rapidly. Lightning, tethered by a rope for safety, hovered near the basket's center, guiding the way. Though she missed Maggie scouting beside her, someone had to stay topside. Uncovering the underground mystery outweighed monitoring demon beasts. Every 30 feet down, she'd check on the others. The meager firelight from above had vanished, replaced by the soft glow of 2 stones of lighting in the basket. In their steady light, Lightning saw pale golden ribbons tracing the cliff wall, Agatha's ice magic, smoothing treacherous rocks and reflecting light for a safer descent. As hundreds of meters passed, a chilling dread crept into Lightning's heart. No ordinary person could survive such a fall. She hoped the legendary devouring worm was hardier. Then, a flicker of light caught her eye below. Faint, like a lone eye opening in the abyss. Signaling the others with her stone of lighting, she plunged downwards, breath held tight. Her feet landed on a smooth, solid surface. Crouching, Lightning touched the ground. The gleaming black rock was polished like glass, its dark reflection marred by a vivid red glow. It was unmistakable. The giant blackstone pagoda of Devil's Town. A colossal, diamond-shaped tower of black stone bridged the abyss, its ends embedded in the rock walls. Its origins remained a mystery, as did the missing tentacle and multi-eyed demons. My magic seems unaffected, Nightingale emerged from the mist. But impassable, Agatha countered, crouching to throw an ice pick at the tower. It shattered harmlessly. Rumor has it this is a blackstone pagoda, built not from stones of retaliation, but capable of creating them. Corrosive magic can warp the mineral veins of magic stones into rectangular tablets. Only those born under a bloody moon can create red mist, while others merely slow its dissipation. Attack will in secret, revealed by Lady Eleanor after their fall. Nightingale bristled. Why withhold this? Elena retorted, you didn't mention a demon spire. There are countless magic dampening possibilities, how could I predict this? Lightning intervened. Enough. We haven't reached the bottom. I heard rushing water below. An underground river. If Fran fell near the tower, she may survive. Hope flickered in Elena's eyes. Could Sylvie have missed her because of the river? The eye of magic wouldn't penetrate the tower, and if Fran was washed away. Agatha finished the thought. Exactly. Inform Wendy. Request additional gods punishment witches and first army soldiers. Establish a perimeter. We continue our search. Lightning nodded, taking charge. With the gondola and magic arc ferrying people down, the rescue operation gained momentum. Lightning used the downtime to explore below the Blackstone Pagoda. As expected, the vertical wall gave way to a sloping descent, and the air grew humid. After another 30 or 40 meters, a vast underground river came into view. Snowmelt trickled down the cavern walls, feeding a thundering waterfall that roared into the cavern mouth. A crisp chill kissed Lightning's cheeks as she neared the cascading water. The moist air nurtured a vibrant ecosystem of mosses and luminous, blue-glowing mushrooms that illuminated the area. Even without her stone of lighting, Lightning could navigate with ease. Fireflies danced among the mushrooms, creating an ethereal spectacle. When the Ark deposited the witches and tequila survivors, they were awestruck by the sight. Imagine if we could cultivate these glowing fruits in Neverwinter. Nightingale exclaimed. Nighttime visibility would be a breeze. We should definitely bring some back and try. Lightning echoed, her explorer's spirit ignited. Introducing new plant species was a common explorer's feat. Sugarcane and corn, for example, were brought to the fjords from distant islands. While the sweetness of these giant mushrooms and glowing cattails remained a mystery, the possibilities were exciting. The roar of rushing water filled the limestone cave, echoing off the rocks and creating a thunderous symphony. Lightning stayed close to the group, struggling to hear over the din. Suddenly, Agatha's question pierced through the noise: "Can the devouring worm swim?" Elena's face darkened. "No sightings of it swimming, but its size suggests it wouldn't stray far from the hole even if swept downstream." Another witch, Zoe, chimed in. "Where does this river originate and flow?" Nightingale, ever the scholar, replied, "If memory serves, it originates from the west and flows towards the southern mountains. A network of underground rivers exists within the king's domain, but their southward flow towards a non-existent river system is a mystery." Suddenly, Lightning's sharp eyes caught a flicker of movement. "Something's moving over there." Everyone stopped, weapons drawn. Nightingale, attuned to magic, reported, "No magical signature, but there is something. It appears to be a half-buried, spherical egg." Agatha's brows furrowed in surprise. Elena, ever pragmatic, waved at the witches. "Follow me." They swiftly surrounded the object. Upon closer inspection, Lightning frowned. A gray, camouflaged skin clung to the rock. As she held her stone of lighting closer, the skin pulsed, revealing a network of breathing pores. Elena spat in disgust. "What in the world is this thing?" "If it's an egg," Lightning measured the skin with her hand, "it must belong to a colossal creature. This thing's easily 3 meters wide and long, with a central bulge big enough to house a cow." Zoe gasped, a horrifying realization dawning on her. Ignoring warnings, she lunged forward, plunging her longsword into the pulsating skin. A geyser of slime erupted as a shrill shriek echoed through the cave. A monstrous black shadow writhed free, collapsing onto the ground, a mad demon. In a horrifying twist, the skin contracted, revealing a monstrous worm erupting from the rock wall. Slime dripped from its glistening body as it lunged for the cave ceiling. Nightingale, a blur of white wings, intercepted it. Descending from the mist, she pinned the worm to the stone with a dagger through its head. Its 6 legs twitched weakly before succumbing. Lightning's eyes widened. The egg was the worm's torso, its head and legs hidden beneath the massive, swollen skin that held the mad demon captive. The creature resembled a grotesque ant, a small head on a grotesquely inflated abdomen. The deflated skin still dwarfed the front half, easily holding several barrels. The demon, inside its belly? Lightning stammered, stunned. Agatha crouched, examining the pinned demon with a magic stone. Unheard of. This mad demon is fully mature. See the scar on its arm? A magical inlay. And the thicker muscle, a clear sign of practiced pike throws. They encountered more eggworms, some hidden in the rock, others clustered by the riverbank. The witches, now seasoned fighters, launched decisive attacks, severing vital points or decapitating the buried heads. Dissection revealed a horrifying truth: the worms contained not only mad demons, but fearsome demons and even human bodies. Confusion rippled through the group. Beyond the border area, humans weren't known to exist. Did these worms extend their reach into Neverwinter undetected? Suddenly, Nightingale's voice cut through the din. Magic up ahead. No, wait, is that Fran? Elena held her ground, forming a defensive perimeter with the other witches. Where? Lightning understood. In the misty world, Nightingale saw only black and white silhouettes, except for magic, which glowed brightly. The darkness didn't hinder her. Front left, 200 meters. 400 steps. She seems trapped. Nightingale's voice faded beneath the rushing water. I can't see clearly. I'll go first. Wait. 2 gunshots echoed in the cavern. The witches exchanged wary glances and advanced cautiously. But Lightning was already airborne, racing towards the gunshots, her revolver gripped tight. Relief washed over Lightning as Nightingale's stone of lighting illuminated the scene. 2 monstrous, worm-like creatures lay dead, flintlock bullets leaving blue blood pooling around their heads. These were the cloaking demons, weren't they? Lightning called from above. Nowhere to hide from these eyes, Nightingale confirmed, holstering her revolver and checking. An idea struck lightning. Landing quickly, she brushed aside moss, revealing a mottled slate. The legendary Snow Mountain ruins. Nightingale exclaimed. The gods' punishment witches arrived, their formation tight. Leading them now was Elena, earning a newfound respect from Lightning. Nightingale provided a quick update. We found Fran, injured but safe. These creatures were about to attack. We're in the ruins, so expect hostiles. Let's secure Fran and call the First Army for a perimeter defense. Elena nodded, her heavy sword cleanly severing the white jelly restraints. Released, Fran let out a low growl. Don't look up. Lightning instinctively tilted her head skyward. Above them, in the vast darkness of the cavern dome, the stone of lighting offered little illumination. A prickling sensation washed over Nightingale as fine hairs stood on end. One glowing red eye materialized in the inky blackness, followed by another, and another. Countless eyes, like a shimmering crimson sea, coalesced into a colossal red disk resembling a monstrous bloody moon staring down at them. Edith, clad in light armor, felt a prickle of unease. Did you hear that? A muffled horn sound, from the south? Brian, the gun battalion commander, paused. No, Miss Edith. Just the river. Probably just your nerves playing tricks on you in the darkness. He offered her an escort back to the surface, a familiar attempt to shield her. Edith, used to such treatment because of her noble background, politely declined. I'm staying. Running back would be an insult to the city hall. Brian, momentarily flustered by her smile, coughed. Why join this dangerous mission? A flicker of movement near the rocks caught Edith's eye. As she turned, a luminous plant shimmered, distorting the air. The world blurred momentarily. What was that? She gasped, about to warn the soldiers. Before she could speak, a similar distortion rippled behind the machine gun squad. A faint sound, then a horrifying sight, a soldier's head detached from his neck, his face frozen in a chilling grin. Invisible enemy! Take cover! Edith screamed, her voice echoing through the cavern. Two more soldiers fell with crimson blossoms erupting from their chests. Multiple attackers. Edith yelled. Hurling a dagger and drawing her sword, she charged, knowing retreat meant a pincer attack. This bonfire was their only hope of finding the invisible foes. In the darkness, escape was suicide. Their only defense was offense. Her blade met resistance, a satisfying sense of flesh giving way. Remembering that even invisible creatures had vulnerable points, she pressed her attack. A sudden wind whipped past, chilling her face. Two weapons, she cursed. Years of combat honed her reflexes, and she dove to the ground as something grazed her scalp. Without hesitation, she roared, Brian! Fire in this direction! Edith's exposed sword became a beacon for the invisible attacker. A hail of gunfire erupted from Brian and the soldiers, the bullets tracing the distortions in the air. One monstrous figure solidified, 2 meters tall with a hard, taupe shell. Bullets tore through its head, bringing it crashing down. Get back! A booming voice echoed as a massive two-handed sword cleaved through the air, dispelling the invisibility field around two more creatures. Ashes and the gods' punishment witches followed up, their attacks swift and merciless. Edith watched in relief. The creatures' invisibility weakened near the witches, their bodies flickering between concealment and reality. Margie helped her up. We spotted them from above with magic stones. A tall man added, regular weapons are useless. Inform the surface, we need more gods' punishment witches down here. Edith learned the witch's name was Betty. Your stones can disable their cloaking? Similar to the retaliation stone, Betty explained. Briefly, that's all. But they wore retaliation stones too. Brian roared, eyes on the fallen soldiers. Why couldn't they see? Light, distance, and focus effect sight, Betty replied. Their stones have a limited range. The glimpses we got were fleeting, especially in the dimness. Edith understood. They hadn't noticed the creatures until mid-fight. Their speed and invisibility were deadly. Regular humans wouldn't have stood a chance. Damn it! Brian slammed his fist. Should have sent the wire nets down first. We need to retreat, Betty urged. Something bad is brewing down there. That shriek, it rattled the entire mountain. You heard that too? Edith asked, surprised. Our heightened senses compensate for lost touch, Betty explained, studying Edith. Didn't expect a human to hear it. Edith, relieved, removed her retaliation stone and placed it by the machine gun. With Margie weaving the magic arc, they descended and then ascended the cavern wall. Brian, reluctantly relinquishing command, followed the witch's lead. Uninformed about the battle below, the Blackstone Pagoda kept sending supplies. Once Brian ordered a stop, they switched from the steam elevator to the arc. Nearing the worm passage, a fierce volley of gunfire erupted from above, trapping the First Army at their post. Faces grim, Margie pushed the arc to its limits. As they burst from the hole, Edith stared upwards, eyes wide with shock.